In the 2013-2014 season, the Montreal Canadiens were gearing up for yet another season, looking to make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, coming off a difficult and lengthy lockout. One player in particular that seemed poised and ready to take Montreal to new heights was Carey Price. The then 26-year-old would take it upon himself once again to lead his team to the promised land. And all seemed true until one fatal incident. In 2013-2014, the Montreal Canadiens on paper looked like a solid all-around team. A young PK Subban would back the defense with his veteran teammate Andrei Markov, a promising offense with the likes of a young and hungry Brandon Gallagher, Alex Galchenyuk, and with an established first-line forward in Max Pacioretty. The team seemed destined for a playoff appearance. But there was only one problem. Coach Michel Therrien was manning the bench. Statistically, Montreal was not great. They had 15 players with a negative plus-minus, and 7 of those players had a minus of more than 5. This isn't even the worst part. The highest point getter on the team was Max Pacioretty with 60 points. For context, the league leader for the 2013-2014 season was Sidney Crosby with 104 points, and Alex Ovechkin led the league with 51 goals. This put Max Pacioretty at 45th in scoring, while 41-year-old Jaromir Jagr would put up 67 points, and that would put him at 25th in the league. So far, not great. So how did the season go knowing all of this? Well, it didn't start off great. Montreal would lose their first game to their rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, 4-3, but a team with no established superstar stayed above 500 throughout the entire season. They went on multiple 3-game win streaks, while only losing 3 or more twice all season, 4 being the most. They would finish the season 21st in goals, proving that their offense clearly wasn't there. But not surprisingly, they finished 6th in goals against. Montreal would end the season 46-28-8 with 100 points on the season and a plus 11 goal difference. In the 2013-2014 season, Carey Price would suit up for 59 of those games, posting a 34-20-5 record with a 2.32 goals against average and a 927 save percentage, and having 6 shutouts to go with it. This would be good enough for 6th in the league amongst other goalies. Now, unsurprisingly to many, in comparison to the other 5 goalies that were ahead of him in the standings for wins, Carey Price would face the second most shots of any goalie. To really understand how impactful Carey Price's play was, Tampa Bay, who was 1 point ahead of Montreal in the standings, ended with a plus 25 goals against, while only facing an average of 28 shots. This defense-first team clearly worked well for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Montreal would have to get used to that, as it'd be the first team they'd play in the NHL playoffs. And how do you think a team who struggled offensively played against a team that was very good defensively? Well, the Montreal Canadiens swept the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. Notably, Ben Bishop would get injured early on in the series, and relying on their 2 young goaltenders, Tampa Bay just wouldn't have enough to push back. This would punch Montreal's ticket to the second round, where they'd face the Boston Bruins. Montreal would win Game 1 with a double overtime win. The series would go back and forth until Montreal was left with 2 back-to-back elimination games. Carey Price would save 26 of 26 shots to send Montreal to Game 7 with a 4-0 win. With Game 7 in Boston and the season on the line, Carey Price would do it again, putting up a 967 save percentage to win 3-1 to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. The dream was still alive, and Habs fans started to believe more and more that this was their year. But when a well-structured and destined for the same greatness New York Rangers came into town, it wasn't going to be easy. And then the moment that changed many Habs fans' lives happened. With Montreal down 2 goals in the second period, Kris Kreider would find himself one-on-one with Carey Price, which would lead to probably one of the most significant moments in team history. Kreider would slip and fall skates first into Carey Price. Immediately you could tell that Price wasn't alright. The crowd stayed silent as their fearless leader, who was carrying them to the promised land, laid curled up on the ground, grabbing his knee. After this collision, Price would stay in nets until the 4th goal went past him. He would then be pulled and play his last game of the playoffs. As for the incident itself, many people believe that Kreider purposely fell into Carey Price. And with a bit of history running into goalies, many found it hard to believe that Kreider just slipped. Regardless, many people say that this was Montreal's year, that they would have been Stanley Cup champions. And they have reason to believe that. Just 1 year after this incident, Price would go on to win the Hart, the Vezina, and the William M. Jennings Trophy, arguably putting up one of the greatest seasons by a goalie in the 21st century. Carey Price's career would never be the same afterwards. Struggling to find his place in nets and battling with his knee injury all seemed doomed for Carey Price. His career seemed to be coming to an end quicker than he realized. With long-term injury reserve and a battle to come back, Price just never seemed the same. But there was one last moment that Price showed his true abilities and put everything on the line in the 2021 Stanley Cup playoff run. But we won't talk about that today. We'll leave it for another time. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video.